If you're eating clean and you're not losing fat, then this video is going to explain exactly why that's happening. So most of my diet comes from these quote-unquote clean foods, but the belief that you have to eat clean to get shredded could be what's holding you back. Clean eating is good from a health perspective. Most of your foods should be coming from nutrient-dense whole food sources, but eating clean alone isn't enough to get you shredded. These foods still contain calories, and we still have to be mindful of how many calories we're consuming. And by the way guys, before we get started, if you're looking to get shredded and don't know where to start, then head over to the link in my description and download my free photoshoot prep guide. This shows you the exact step-by-step process that I use to help people get results like this and like this. So make sure you download it, it's absolutely free. Okay, so let's get back to the video. Now, you could be eating the cleanest diet in the world. You could be eating everything organic and everything grass-fed and no processed food whatsoever. But if you're not in a calorie deficit, then you're still not going to lose fat. And here's the thing, you could eat foods that aren't clean, that are, highly processed, high in salt, all these sort of things, and you can still lose fat if you're in a deficit. You could literally eat McDonald's every single day, and as long as you're in a calorie deficit for a long enough period of time, you would lose body fat. I'm not suggesting you do that, by the way, but it's still true. So why did I stop being obsessed with clean eating? Because that obsession was blinding me from the only thing that actually matters when it comes to getting shredded. I'd eat clean all day, I'd feel good about myself, but I was completely blind to the fact that I was actually consuming more calories than what I was burning, and therefore I wasn't in a calorie deficit. The thing is, just because a food is healthy, it doesn't mean it's low in calories. And just because a food's unhealthy, it doesn't mean it's high in calories. Take a packet of nuts, for example. I remember specifically one time I'd been working all day doing a manual labour job, and I was heading to the gym that night and I was hungry. And I thought, right, I'll go get myself something to eat before the gym, just a wee snack. I went into the shop and bought a packet of almonds. And I ate the whole packet of almonds. There was about 350 calories in that packet. But I didn't realise at the time, I thought, oh, I'm eating clean, I'm eating good, so this is going to help me get shredded. When in actual fact, what it done is pulled me out of a calorie deficit for the day and put me into a surplus. Another good example would be avocado, a healthy food, but it's high in fats, albeit healthy fats, but it's still high in fats, which means it's high in calories. A medium avocado is about 250 calories. Or dates, like medjool dates, probably one of my favourite things to eat, but one of those medjool dates can be 60 calories, and it's quite easy to eat a handful of them. It could be 5 or 6 dates. Do the maths on that, we're talking about 300 calories at least. So they can add up quickly, and it can very quickly start to pull you out of a calorie deficit and potentially into a surplus. And in my opinion, it's one of the main reasons that so many people get in shape and then end up gaining the fat back. Because after the dieting phase is over, they say, oh, I'm just going to eat well, I'm going to eat healthy, and they maybe don't pay too much attention to how much they're eating, how much the quantities of the food are, how many calories they're eating. And although you're eating the right foods, they very quickly add up, and it very quickly pulls you out of that calorie deficit, and before you know it, your calories are starting to creep up each day, and so is your body weight. The fat is piling back on. And it doesn't matter how clean you eat, that can still happen. And like I say, the very same thing happened to me when I was trying to get shredded back in the early days. I thought I just had to eat clean, and it didn't matter what I ate, and therefore that's how I ended up eating that whole packet of almonds, thinking, oh, this is clean food, it'll be alright, it won't matter. But it does matter. I didn't understand calories, I didn't understand the laws of thermodynamics, I just thought I had to eat clean and that would get me shredded. But that was a lesson I learned along the way, and once I learned that lesson, once I started accounting for everything I was eating and realised the quantities of what I was eating and how many calories were in that, funny enough, that's when I first actually got shredded. So that was it. It was simple. I started tracking my calories, I started weighing my food out so that I knew the exact quantities, put it into MyFitnessPal, and then I managed to figure out where I was going to be in a calorie deficit, what numbers I actually needed to hit to lose body fat. And it was like this sort of light bulb moment. It was never about, the types of food as much as it was about the quantities of them. And the thing is, once you realise that, you realise that not everything you eat needs to be completely clean. Now again, I am a big advocate of clean eating. I do want my clients to be eating mostly nutrient-dense whole foods. But there's no reason that if you've got 100 calories spare at the end of the evening, there's no reason you can't use that for something that's a bit more of like a kind of treat. There's not going to be any harm in doing that. There's not going to be any harm in, maybe 20% of your diet coming from foods that aren't so nutrient dense. That's okay, as long as it's all calorie controlled. So when it comes to fat loss, the shift in mindset shouldn't necessarily be, is this food clean? Can I eat it? It should be more, okay, how many calories are in this? What are the macros? Does this suit my goals? And look, don't get it twisted. I'm not telling you to just go eat a bunch of highly processed foods and just live off junk and get shredded that way. That's not a healthy way to do it. It's not a good way to do it. And in my experience, having coached hundreds of people, I would say that people get better results when they do eat clean within their calorie deficit. But there's no reason a small percentage of your diet can't come from slightly more processed, slightly more unhealthy stuff if you so wish. So if you're eating clean and you're not losing fat, then it's simple. You're just not in a deficit. So what to do from here is completely track everything that you eat for the next 2 weeks. Get the kitchen scales out, weigh your food, put the quantities into a calorie tracking app, and then you'll see where all those extra calories are coming in. You'll see what things are dense in calories and what things are going to be lower in calories. And you'll be able to figure out where you need to be to start losing body fat. So the long and short of it is keep eating clean, but don't be so obsessed by eating clean that you don't think you can eat anything else. Paying more attention to my calories and macros is what got me shredded, and it's what will get you there as well. And again guys, if you missed it, my step-by-step PHOTOSHOOT shred guide is linked in the description. It's completely free, so go ahead and download it. It'll give you the exact steps that you need to get yourself shredded. So make sure you check it out.